Hi Stampers! Today we're going to be making this envelope card, and I actually made this for my husband for our anniversary. So I'm going to show you, you can actually pull this out of the envelope, and then you can write on the back of the card if you'd like, the insert. So let's get started. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a very vanilla envelope, and we're going to go ahead and just seal this up. And then we're going to cut off just a very, very tiny amount at the top here, just to get the opening. And I'm actually just using a pair of scissors. And we're going to go ahead and punch out just the top of the envelope on the front with our 1 1/4 inch circle punch. And on these punches, you actually have a halfway mark there on either side. So we're just going to go ahead and feed this in halfway. And you can kind of see that we're just going to line it up like that. And then on the front of the card, just kind of make sure you're right in the center. Just kind of eyeball it. And you're going to go right through there. So that's going to actually make our opening so that we can slide the card in and out. Now we're going to go ahead and use the En Francais background stamp. And I'm going to go ahead and ink that up with some crumb cake. So we'll just do this. This is the way I usually ink up my larger stamps. I just find that you get a little bit more coverage this way. Doing it upside down. Get that nice and wet. Okay. Go ahead and want to make sure my writing is the correct way. So I'm just going to give this a nice hard press. You can also use another background stamp to do this, just to get a real nice impression. Okay. Alright. And then the next little step we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take some chocolate chip, and we're going to go ahead and sponge around the outside of that card. I'm going to kind of just dress this just a little bit. You don't need very much, really. This is a pretty dark color. Okay. And we'll just leave that out because we have to just dress a couple other things. Because right now we're going to just make the outside of the card. Now for the outer circle, we're going to use Baja Prise. So I'm going to go ahead and take the 1 3/4 inch circle punch and punch out that color. And we're going to be using chocolate chip as well. And for that one, I'm using the 1 3/8 inch circle punch. So again, we'll punch those out. And then I've also got the designer label punch that we'll be using with the Very Vanilla. And we'll go ahead and punch one of those out. And for the actual saying, I'm using the stamp set from the mini catalog, which is just so cute, and it matches this so perfectly since we've got this little key that we're going to be hanging from the side. And one of the phrases in that set, "You're a gem," says "Key to my heart." So that just matches up perfectly with those little trinket keys that we're going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and use chocolate chip again, but I've actually heat embossed this just to raise it up a little bit. So first we're going to take the Versamark, put our stamp into the Versamark, then go ahead and put your stamp into the chocolate chip, and you're going to go ahead and stamp right on that little decorative label. We're going to take some clear embossing powder, and we'll put that across there. And we'll just kind of flick that off. We'll move this out of our way. And I'll take my heat embossing gun, and we'll go ahead and get that dried up here. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and we're going to take our sponge again and just sponge around all of these pieces. And then for the ribbon, we're actually going to be using some Baja Breeze, which is the seam binding ribbon, which is so beautiful. And I've shown this in another video, so I'm not going to take a lot of time on this. But in order to get this ruffled effect, all you do is you take one of the ends and you kind of find the center of the ribbon that's down the center, and you just kind of start pulling on that. And what it'll do is it will start ruffling the ribbon itself, and you can make it as ruffly or as straight as you'd like, and you can kind of see how that's pulling. I've taken about 15 inches of the seam binding, so you have quite a bit to play with because we're going to be wrapping this around the whole card. So yeah, you just kind of just keep pulling at it and creating this real pretty ruffled effect. I'm just going to keep doing that. And I'm going to get just a little bit less thread here. So, but I do have this on another video if you want to actually see how to do it as well, but I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it today just because we've already done this, and I just kind of wanted to get the card going for you. So that's basically how you do the ruffling effect. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take this ribbon and wrap it around the card, and I'm just going to go ahead and attach it in the back with a little bit of Tombow. Or actually attach it in the front, I'm sorry, because we're going to be covering this part up. So we'll put a little bit of Tombow down, a little bit of snail. We'll wrap the ruffle around the card. And you can trim off the excess at this point. Okay, mine's not very ruffled today, but again, I just didn't want to spend a lot of time on doing that part of the card. I actually have that on the other videos. So we're just going to go ahead and take a couple dimensionals and attach those right to the front of the card. And we'll put our chocolate chip on there. And I put a dimensional behind the key to my heart. And we're also going to put a couple dimensionals on the back of the card. And that will hold the ribbon in place as well. So it will look something like that. Okay, so you'll have the front of the card done. Then we'll go ahead and do the inside of the card. And what I've done on this is I've actually taken a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch Very Vanilla cardstock. And we're going to go ahead and put this through the Big Shot using an impressions plate. And the impressions plate is the Vintage Wallpaper. And we're just going to go ahead, and this whole card will actually fit inside of there very nicely. I'll put this down. And let me get the Big Shot up here, which I just love. Look at this guy. You can do so much. I'll just run that through and get that beautiful impression on there. Okay. And now we've got that impression on the card, which is really pretty. We're going to go ahead and take our 1 3/8 inch punch and go ahead and punch a hole, and again lining it up about halfway down. And then I put another piece of Very Vanilla cardstock behind here just to give it a little bit more thickness, and then you can also write on the back of it. If you just have this piece, you're not going to be able to write on the back. So we're going to go ahead and do that and mount that on there. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take that card and take some more of your chocolate chip ink, and you're going to go ahead and just rub on top of the embossed part so that you get a beautiful vintage look to this. And you don't have to rub too hard, it just will pick up wherever the raised area is. So just keep going along and doing that. Okay, so you've got that nice little antique look to it. And we're going to take the decorative label punch and punch a piece out of the Baja Breeze. And this will be our inside saying. And we're going to take a designer label punch and punch another Berry Vanilla out of that. And I've put the word Happy Anniversary on my card. Again, you know, you can put whatever you wish on there, but that's what I'm going to be using with the chocolate chip. Okay, and that fits like perfectly on there. And then we'll go ahead and use a little bit more and kind of antique this as well. Give it a little distressed look, along with the Baja Breeze, so that everything kind of matches and gives it a little bit more dimension when you have this. So I just think it looks really pretty. I've attached this with just some snail or Tombow. Attach it right in the center here. Oops, trying to do this upside down and that's not working, is it? I'm just going to bring this up just a little bit. Okay, so I can get it a little bit better centered. There we go. And then I've taken one of our little pearls and I put that right at the top. And that's one of these little jewel pearls, basic pearls. So we'll go ahead and do that. And I used the second smallest one, because if you use these bigger ones, it's going to get too bulky inside the envelope, so you have to be careful about how much depth you're putting in there. And then I went ahead and attached this again with a dimensional. And then at the top of the card, I went ahead and punched out another 1 1/4 inch circle. And that's actually going to be our tab puller. And I went ahead and I folded this in half. Here we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the top of that card. So that it will actually be like this. And I went ahead and used this 3-in-1 glue. It just works a little bit better when you have something that you have to fold over. This is just available at any hobby store. Anyway, so that goes ahead and attaches there. Then I took my Crop-A-Dile and punched a hole in that. And took another small piece of the Baja Breeze ribbon, seam binding ribbon. Just ran it through the center of there. And then with a small piece of elastic, just went ahead and attached my little trinket key. And these little trinket keys are awesome. They come in a box of 4, and there's like little jumper rings with them, so you could attach them to like a necklace or some of the Simply Adorned jewelry too. But they're really, really cute, and they're all different designs. And then I just went ahead and ran my silver elastic thread through there. And then this just all goes inside of the envelope. And is a great little card. And I hope my husband likes it as much as I do. Thanks again for joining me. Have a great day. Bye-bye.